بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام. Okay, wonderful. If you can hear me, that's wonderful. Alhamdulillah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Yeah, we've been talking about Imam al-Ghazali, and we have touched upon many things. And now we are talking about Imam al-Ghazali's categorization of philosophy in general, because as far as Imam al-Ghazali is concerned, philosophy was actually a discipline that included, many disciplines, many sub-disciplines, including mathematics, logic, science, metaphysics, politics, and ethics. And Imam Ghazali, of course, after categorizing philosophy into these sub-disciplines, he talked about mathematics and the importance of mathematics and how important mathematics is. That mathematics has nothing to do with religion. In a way, Imam Ghazali wants to say that mathematics is something secular, as far as mathematics is concerned. Yeah. That's why he said فَتَتَعَلَّقُ بِعِلْمِ الْحِسَابِ وَالْهَنْدَسَةِ وَعِلْمِ هَيْئَةِ الْعَالَمِ. So mathematics basically has to do with arithmetics, geometry, and geometry in general. وَلَيْسَ يَتَعَلَّقُ مِنْهُ شَيْءٌ بِالْأُمُورِ الدِّينِيَةِ. And it has nothing to do with issues related to religion. Not in terms of affirmation and not in terms of negation. So meaning that religion does not negate nor affirms mathematics. بل هي أمور برهانية لا سبيل إلى مجاهدتها بعد فهم ومعرفتها. They say that these are burhani, mathematics is a burhani kind of thing, meaning that it exists a priori, something that there is no way to deny, basically, especially after mastering it. There is no way you can deny mathematics. It is there. It is there by de facto, and something that we have to deal with. So mathematics, on the contrary, Imam al-Ghazali, by saying this, he is in a way praising mathematics. For Imam al-Ghazali, mathematics is something praiseworthy. But he says that the problem with mathematics, as long as it has to do with philosophy, and also talking about philosophers per se, Ibn Sina and Farabi. So he said that there are two things, to be reckoned with as far as mathematics is concerned. Two, blameworthy things, which Imam al-Ghazali considered as afa. Afa is a shortcoming that comes from mathematics. It has nothing to do with mathematics per se, as far as it is more concerned about those looking at mathematics, the perspectives. So we have two perspectives as far as mathematics is concerned. perspective from those who are reading mathematics. Understand? So a Muslim that is reading mathematics and seeing how accurate mathematics is, and therefore getting obsessed by the philosophers, thinking that whatever that comes after that also should be accurate, as far as the metaphysics are concerned. So this is what Imam Ghazali putting emphasis on. He said mathematics is praiseworthy, something good, something that we should acquire, something that religion does not really touch upon, talk in detail of. Yeah, there are some key facts in the Quran and the Sunnah. In fact, talking about key facts, about mathematics in general. But we cannot, Quran or Sunnah is not, these are not books of mathematics per se. But this is what Imam Ghazali means by mathematics has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with Quran and Sunnah, because Quran does not talk in details about mathematics. Yeah, there are some key facts. There are some elements of mathematics in the Quran, some primary mathematics in the Quran and the Sunnah. But Quran is not a book of mathematics, nor is Sunnah a book of mathematics. So this is, in bottom line, what Imam Ghazali wants to say. He sees mathematics as praiseworthy, but nonetheless, we shouldn't be carried away by the accuracy of mathematics. Yeah, this is the idea. So thinking that, okay, so those philosophers, in as much as the mathematics is accurate, therefore everything that comes from the philosopher should be accurate, including the metaphysics. So this is the thing that Imam Al-Ghazali wants to touch upon, this shortcoming, this very perspective. So he said the first shortcoming, al-ula, man yanzuru fiha, okay, whoever sees mathematics and look at mathematics, يتعجب من دقائقها ومن ظهور براهينها. Whoever looks at mathematics and understands mathematics gets obsessed, with its accuracy and also its burhan, its evidence, its a priori evidence. فيحسن بذلك اعتقاده في الفلاسفة. So here is the problem. So looking, if you look at how accurate mathematics is and how a priori its evidence is, so we tend to have the belief and conclude that therefore the philosophers are right, should be accurate in all the disciplines, including metaphysics. فيحسب, and then, when we get obsessed, so we think أن جميع علومهم, that all disciplines brought about by the philosopher في الوضوح وفي وثاقة البرهان كهذا العلم. Subhanallah. So Imam Ghazali said that whoever sees mathematics and the accuracy that mathematics entails would immediately believe that, that the philosophers, because that the philosophers must be accurate in all the disciplines, just exactly as mathematics. Yeah. So looking at metaphysics, thinking that metaphysics is as accurate as mathematics. ثم يكون قد سمع من كفرهم وتعطيلهم وتعاونهم بالشرع ما تناولته الألسنة فيكفر بالتقليد المحض ويقول that here is the problem. So being obsessed by mathematics, by the accuracy of mathematics and what mathematics can do, one may be carried away believing that, wow, all the disciplines except metaphysics. Yes. Then, he would hear about, some of the statesmen that leading to kufr, but yet would not really pay attention to it. And such a person may be entitled to kufr by way of taqlid, because they tend to be carried away because they are obsessed with mathematics, and mathematics is something that philosophers talk about most of the time. And therefore they will say, okay, in as much as they're accurate in their mathematics, therefore, and they conclude, they must be accurate also in all the disciplines, including metaphysics. لو كان الدين حقا لما اختفى على هؤلاء من تدقيقهم في هذا العلم. Oh, they may be carried away even into falling into the trap of kufr by saying, okay, if religion was right, it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have escaped, those philosophers, because these people, have broad mathematics, and their mathematics is very, very, very clear, very accurate. So they can't be wrong as far as religion is concerned. فإذا بالتسامع كفرهم وجورهم استدل على أن الحق هو الجهل والإنكار للدين. So when he hear also them denying the existence of God in terms of metaphysics, or calling for the what for the ever existence of the world, they may tend to believe that, wow, this is true, which is actually a kufr. وكم رأيت من يضل عن الحق بهذا العذر ولا مستند له سواه. So Imam al-Ghazali, bottom line, wants to say that, in as much as mathematics is praiseworthy, it can be also problematic, as far as those who are reading mathematics are concerned, because when they see the accuracy and then listen to the same philosophers talking about, when they see this accuracy in mathematics and then listen to philosophers talking about metaphysics. Guys, I'm busy. Don't come here. I'm busy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then see the accuracy that is there in mathematics. They would tend to believe that also the metaphysics is correct, which is not the case. وإذا قيل له الحاذق في صناعة واحدة ليس يلزم أن يكون حاذقا في كل صناعة. Okay. فلا يلزم أن يكون الحاذق في الفقه والكلام حاذقا في الطب. So whoever thinks so, even though the mathematics is accurate, is good, is praiseworthy, it does not necessarily mean that the metaphysics is correct. Just like anyone, mastering any craft, when you're mastering any craft, a craft, it does not mean that you master all the crafts on earth. You may know one discipline, but it does not necessarily mean that you are good at other disciplines as well. You may make a lot of mistakes in other disciplines, So being a faqih, being good at fiqh and ilm al-kalam does not necessarily mean that you're good in medicine, at medicine. So these are two different things. So this does not really lead to this. ولا أن يكون الجاهل بالعقليات جاهلا بالنحو. So whoever does not know, is not good in the sciences that has to do with logic, does not necessarily mean that they're not good at syntax, نحو. بل لكل صناعة أهل, on the contrary, every discipline has people. In every discipline, in every discipline, you have people that are very good at it, that are people that have reached the pinnacle of it. وإن كان الحمق والجهل يلزمهم في غيرها. Yeah, they may be very good, they may reach the peak of a discipline, but at the same time, ignorant in many. So this is the point. فكلام الأوائل في الرياضيات برهان. So the statesmen of ancient philosophers in physics, in mathematics, all the statesmen are burhani based, a priori based. You know, it is something praiseworthy. في الإلهيات تخميني, but the statements on metaphysics is totally conjecture, mere conjecture, predictions. لا يعرف ذلك إلا من جربه وخاض فيه. So only those who are knowledgeable and those who are experienced can know it. فهذا إذا قرر على هذا الذي ألحد بالتقليد. فهذا إذا قرر على هذا الذي ألحد بالتقليد. And this is for those who have gone astray by way of تقليد. ولم يقع منه موقع القبول. بل تحمله غلبة الهوى والشهوة الباطلة وحب التكايس على أن يصر على تحسين الظن بهم في العلوم كلها. So some people, because of their hawa, they may be carried away into thinking, into having a good opinion of the philosophy. فهذه آفة عظيمة لأجلها يجب الزجر كل من يقول في تلك العلوم. So this is a shortcoming. This is a grave shortcoming that those who are really getting too deep into mathematics should be aware of. Imam al-Ghazali says zajr mean, to turn them away from it. But we understanding from the context, Imam al-Ghazali wants to say, as inasmuch as they understand the philosophical underpinnings of philosophy, there is no any problem. But if you don't understand the philosophical underpinnings of it, thinking and reading the metaphysics and thinking that the metaphysics as well should be as accurate as the philosophy and as the mathematics, here the problem comes in. Yeah. So this is bottom line what Imam Ghazali has to say about mathematics. The first shortcoming to summarize it, Imam Ghazali, praises mathematics a lot, and of course, the reason why discussing mathematics, because he has first categorized the philosophy into branches, into different disciplines. You have mathematics, logic, science is part of philosophy, and also metaphysics and ethics. So starting with mathematics, Imam Ghazali has praised mathematics a lot and says that it is something that is burhani, a priori kind of thing. It is something that we have to know. It's something a priori. It's not something that has nothing to do with religion. In a way, there is no mathematics. There is no mathematics in details in the Quran and the Sunnah. Yeah, we have key facts of mathematics in the Quran and Sunnah, but Quran and Sunnah are not books of mathematics in the full sense of the word. So this is what Imam al-Ghazali means by it has nothing to do with religion. Yeah. This is number one. So after praising mathematics, Imam al-Ghazali said that mathematics has two shortcomings. It has nothing to do with mathematics itself, but perspectives around mathematics. People that are seeking mathematics, and he said that you have two people, one person, uh, you know, that reads mathematics and see the accuracy of mathematics, and then thinks that mathematics is everything, and then thinks that everything that comes from the from the philosophers or from philosophy, especially metaphysics, also should be as accurate as mathematics. Why? Uh, because mathematics, and because philosophers brought up mathematics, and mathematics is accurate. So whatever they say after that, should be also correct. And Imam Ghazali said, no, that is not good logic. Because being good, for example, at one discipline does not necessarily mean that you're good at other discipline. You may be good and accurate at one discipline, but stumble upon at another discipline. So this does not really necessarily means that mathematics is not praiseworthy. According to Imam al-Ghazali, it's fine. But according to the perspective behind mathematics, the people looking at mathematics. So he divided them into two. One person that is so obsessed with mathematics to the extent of being carried away by that accuracy into thinking that also other disciplines by philosophers must be also accurate, especially their metaphysics. And you have another shortcoming coming from a Muslim, an ignorant Muslim, that want to deny mathematics, want to belittle mathematics, sees mathematics as a blameworthy, something that is bad. So Imam al-Ghazali has, now is approaching a very balanced kind of method. This is Imam al-Ghazali's, in a way, approach in general. If you read his books, you will find Imam al-Ghazali try all the time to take a very balanced approach, So for him, not the person that is so obsessed with mathematics to the extent of, admitting to the metaphysics of, or being obsessed with the philosopher to the extent of also, accepting everything from them. Nor a person, a Muslim, that is ignorant and denying mathematics. So, Imam al-Ghazali stands in the middle ground here. Yeah, mathematics is good. Mathematics is excellent. It is a Burhani kind of discipline. This is what Imam al-Ghazali says. It's a Burhani kind of it's an a priori knowledge. It's something that we need. It's a Burhani one. Imam al-Ghazali does recognize that. But also, he has problem with a person that is so obsessed with mathematics, so much so as to think that everything that comes from the philosopher should be true. Yeah, their metaphysics, is not as accurate as the mathematics. But one may be carried away into thinking that way. So Imam al-Ghazali has problem with this kind of person, and also he also has a problem with a Muslim that thinking that denying mathematics is something good, that you're helping Islam, you're doing Islam a service by denying mathematics. So he says no, not this, not that, So Imam Ghazali is standing here in the middle ground, yeah, saying that praising mathematics is good, but not to the extent of being obsessed with mathematics, thinking that there is haq in mathematics. You can prove God or through mathematics. Mathematics can lead you to accurate metaphysics. So this is not really accurate. Uh-huh. No. So all these is to prove that point. So Imam Ghazali started by talking about mathematics. This is one of the discipline. The second discipline is علم الطبيعيات in general. No, the second discipline, sorry, is logic. So logic, فلا يتعلق شيء منه بالدين نفيا وإثباتا. The same thing said to mathematics is also said to logic. Imam Ghazali said that علم المنطق has nothing to do with religion either in terms of approbation or negation. بل هي النظر في طرق الأدلة والمقاييس وشروط مقدمات البرهان وكيفية تركيبها وشروط الحد الصحيح وكيفية ترتيبه. So he said that it is a way of proving, it's a way of, setting evidence through, through thinking. So, and through وكيفية تركيبها. So Imam al-Ghazali in a nutshell wants to say that mathematics is a tool through which we prove things, understand? We prove that our statements are true. So we do that through logic, through definition, through defining our statement, and therefore try to prove that our statements are true. So number 2 is mantiq, and number 3 is ilm al-tabi'iyat. Ilm al-tabi'iyat is science in general. فهو بحث عن عالم السماوات وكواكبها وما تحتها من الأجسام المفردة. So it is searching, science. He's talking about science and natural sciences in general. So whereby he says science is, the discipline whereby we study the earth and the earth and the heaven, and kalma'i, like water, and wal-hawa, and air, wal-turab, wal-nar, and fire, وعن الأجسام المركبة, and the compounded bodies, كالحيوان, like animals, and nabat, and plants, والمعادن, and minerals, ومن أسباب التغيير, and how it changes, all these changes. So this is all sciences and physics. وكذلك يضاحي بحث الطب عن جسم الإنسان وأعضائه الرئيسية والخادمة وأسباب استحالة مزاجه. Yeah. So science has to do with, of course, physics. Basically, Imam Ghazali here is talking of physics and medicine, and also biology. So all the branches of science, Imam Ghazali say that, all these are praiseworthy. وكما ليس من شرط الدين إنكار علم الطب. So religion has nothing to do with denying medicine. It is something that is there by de facto, a priori, and also physics. فليس من شرطه أيضا إنكار ذلك العلم. So these are, so these are science, these are things, these are different. إلا في مسائل معينة, except from, a few issues, that have to do with physics and science and biology, all the branches of science. Yeah. ذكرناها في كتاب تهافت الفلاسفة, which we have mentioned in تهافت الفلاسفة. تهافت الفلاسفة, the incoherence of the philosophers. Imam al-Ghazali has a book entitled تهافت الفلاسفة, the incoherence of philosophers. Yeah, it's a very wonderful book. Probably in the future I may have time to read it. So he say that, science, with all its branches, physics, biology, has nothing to do with religion in terms of affirmation or negation. On the contrary, these are praiseworthy kind of disciplines, except from few things, of course. If the Haftul Falasifa that has to do with the philosophical underpinnings of science, believing that science is and things, exist by themselves and they are independent from, an eternal, power, omnipotence. So here comes the problem. Yeah. وما عداها مما يجب المخالفة فيها فعند التأمل يتبين أنها مندرجة تحتها وأصل جملتها أن تعلم أن الطبيعة مسخرة لله تعالى. So this is it. So all these sciences are praiseworthy in as much as we believe that it is created by God subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has made humble by God subhanahu wa ta'ala for human being, for the service of human being. لا تعمل بنفسها. It does not operate by itself. بل هي مستعملة. It is operated. It is operated. It's being operated من جهة فاطرها, from its creator. والشمس والقمر والنجوم والطباع مسخرات بأمره. All these are in the dominions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا فعل لشيء منها بذاته عن ذاته. So nothing of it works by itself independently. So this is bottom line that Imam Ghazali wants to say. You can't deny science. Science is there. It is a priori knowledge. It is out there. It has nothing to do with the Quran. Give us concept and key facts about science. That in the end, Quran is not a book of science, nor is Sunnah. But Quran is a guide to understand. Quran is guiding, all these philosophical underpinnings of science. So we believe that, this is what Imam Ghazali wants to say, that in as much as you believe that, science is not working by itself, meaning the physics and the rules and the universal rules of physics and biology, in as much as we believe they do not work by themselves, they do not have a power independent from God working by itself, in as much as we don't believe in that, science is praiseworthy. So here comes, here is a pure statement by Imam al-Ghazali or a sign from Imam al-Ghazali of the importance of Islamizing science in general. Yeah. So this is a perfect, extract from Imam al-Ghazali, Islamizing science in general, seeing that science is okay, but science do have problems, and those problems has to do with scientists believing that, things work mechanically by themselves, independently from a power, a supreme power out there, thinking that the rules and the universal rules, the universal rules, by themselves, and it work independently by themselves without a supreme power. So this is where Imam al-Ghazali has problem. But science in general, for Imam al-Ghazali, science is praiseworthy, something good. He praises physics, praises biology. So yeah, alhamdulillah, yeah. وأما الإلهيات, so now Imam al-Ghazali will be talking about probably the last discipline probably that we're going to talk about today, which is ilahiyat. This is where Imam al-Ghazali has problem with. Sorry, just a second. As you can see so far, Imam al-Ghazali systematically, categorizing knowledge And I mean, the knowledges of philosophers into categories, starting with mathematics and logic, in a way, saying that these are a priori knowledge. This is something that we can't deny nor affirm. It's not something that has to do with religion per se, in a sense. Uh, you can't say the Quran and Sunnah books of mathematics and logic. Yeah, even though we have key facts and key concepts in the Quran and the Sunnah. Mm-hmm. But per se, they're not books of mathematics and books of logic. So he considers both mathematics and logic to be a priori knowledge. Then he talks about science also and all its and all its branches, and praising science, and say that on the contrary, religion does not really uh, affirms nor denies or negates science. Science is praiseworthy. Yeah, except from few issues that he tackled in his book entitled Tahafut al-Falasifa. Then he summarizes what he you know what he does in what he did in Tahafut al-Falasifa is to bring people attention to the fact that science, even though they have universal laws, they are universal scientific laws. Those laws do not really work and operate by themselves independently. In as much as we believe that there is a supreme power, mm, beyond these, universal laws, then there is no problem. Science is on the contrary. Yeah. And therefore, we say that Imam Ghazali is saying that, in a way, is trying to Islamize science here. Is trying to tell us that uh, science is excellent, apart from some philosophical underpinnings of science in general, believing that science operates, mechanically and and independently with no power beyond it. So this is the problem of science only. This is the only problem Imam Ghazali has with science. Yeah. So yeah. So this is bottom line. And now we have the fourth discipline, which has to do with Ilahiyya metaphysics. Yeah. ففيها أكثر أغاليطهم. So Imam al-Ghazali here say that it is in metaphysics where you can find the misgivings of the philosophers. Yeah. So he praises all the disciplines of the mathematics. The philosopher brought about mathematics, very nice, very good, excellent. On the contrary, a priori, it's something that we need. It's a necessity. It considers mathematics to be a necessity. A discipline that is very necessary, and also logic, and also science. He praises science a lot. Apart from the philosophical underpinnings that are commending, that are guiding what science in general, whereas believing that things work and operate mechanically, independently from God, from supreme power. So this is the only problem Imam Ghazali has to with science. So he has no problem with mathematical logic. Contrary to what is portrayed by Imam Ghazali as someone who did away with science and critical thinking in the Muslim world. Until today, this is really strange to me, because if you read Imam al-Ghazali and the texts in front of you, you can see the text, you can read it by yourself. You see clearly that this has to do with, it has nothing to do with Imam al-Ghazali. Those who are saying that Imam al-Ghazali treats science as something, something bad, they have to prove that, because in as much as Imam al-Ghazali's books and statements are concerned, nothing could be found really treating science as something, bad, or critical thinking or mathematics or logic. No. On the contrary, Imam al-Ghazali praises all these branches, apart from, a few issues that, he has tackled, and this is understandable. This is obvious. And the discipline that Imam al-Ghazali has problem with is metaphysics. Yeah, he said that this is where most of the problems of the philosophers come from. فما قدروا على الوفاء بالبراهين على ما شرطوه في المنطق. So they were not able to use logic and the evidences that they have set, and the introductions that they have set in the mantiq. They were not able to bring that into metaphysics. Meaning that they did not go through logic in order to prove God, the existence of God. So, and everything that is in this universe, so they went astray from their own logic. Had they followed their own logic, they wouldn't have fallen or gone astray. ولذلك كثر اختلاف بينهم فيه، ولقد قرب مذهب أرسطوطالس فيها من مذاهب الإسلاميين على ما نقله الفارابي وابن سينا. Okay, he said that it is where the problems of the philosophers come in. It is where they had differences, and he said that Aristotle school of thought, as far as metaphysics concerned, he said himself, لقد قرب مذهب. قرب means is closer compared to other philosophies. Aristotle school of thought, as far as metaphysics is concerned, probably is the closest school of thought to the Islamic perspective. إلى مذهب الإسلاميين على ما نقله الفارابي وابن سينا. As far as Ibn Sina and Farabi are concerned, because these are the two, من مذاهب الإسلاميين, meaning here Islamic perspectives here, or Islamiyin, is Farabi and Ibn Sina. Farabi and Ibn Sina are those who have, are those who translated, in a way, Aristotle, statements and books and ideas into Arabic. So it is through those two that many Muslims got to know Aristotle, read Aristotle's works and philosophy and all this stuff. ولكن مجموع ما غلطوا فيه يرجع إلى 20 أصلا. So Imam Ghazali now is about to treat 20 issues that he believes they have gone astray. Yes. يجب تكفيرهم في ثلاثة منها. He said that there are three things that they should be treated as kuffar. وتبديعهم في 17. في 17. And treating them as people of bid'ah in 17 things. So Imam al-Ghazali is not totally, look at how he divided, the misgivings of the philosophers. He has categorized these misgivings, these problems into 20. 3 are kufr worthy, should be treated as kufr, and the others are not treated as kufr. They are in the realm of bid'ah. Look at how, mashallah, how logical Imam al-Ghazali is. and how scientific it is. You want to say, okay, these statements, these are three statements, they can be treated as kufr. And you have the 17 statements that are not kufr, but in a way are close to bid'ah. So, Raḥmatu'Llāhi alayhi Imam al-Ghazali. ولإبطال مذهبهم في هذه المسائل العشرين صنفنا كتاب التحافظ. And in order to counter the school of thought as far as these 20 issues are concerned, because of that, we came up with a book known as تحافظ. أما المسائل الثلاث فقد خالفوا فيها كافة المسلمين. Okay. Then he will now start talking about the three main issues where the philosophers can be treated as kuffar and where they differ from Muslims, even though some of, the 17 other problems are not that bad, to the extent of being kufr, but can be treated as bid'ah. So I think we stop here because this is another topic by itself. And let's stop here. Inshallah, if you have any question, any concern, you may ask. Sorry. نعم. وصلى اللهم وسلم. نعم, can you hear me? Hello, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Okay. So, to this we stop here today, inshallah, and next time we continue from where we start, from the ilahiyat, inshallah. وصلى اللهم وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can you hear me?